Ohio approved and licensed for disposal, at Ron Evans Enterprises, they specialize in sewage system installation and repair. Ron Evans has a full line of flex pipe, culverts, concrete and plastic septic tanks, sewer fittings, waterline rolls for the Home American water heaters, along with toilets, standard and ADA. It's all at Ron Evans Enterprise, LLC. Give them a call today at 1-800-537-9528 or 740-286-5930.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to the beginning of your work week where the sun is shining and it is, well, a little chilly outside, but warmer temperatures as the week rolls on. So don't be in despair because it will get better as it goes. So I am here all by my lonesome today to introduce something that we'll be playing for you here in just a little bit. And we did something I think that was kind of cool and gave the opportunity to some folks to share their platform. But before we get to that, I'm sure you all are wondering why this lovely basket is here.
It's a very lovely basket.
It's a lovely basket. Wait, Vanna.
The what?
Vanna White.
Vanna White? I don't know who that is.
I'm done.
Yeah, I have no clue.
You don't know who Vanna White is, Dylan.
have absolutely no idea.
Pick up your phone and Google Vanna White, and you're going to feel really dumb.
Okay, I'm not sure that I will.
I think you will. Everybody knows who Vanna White is.
All right, Vanna White. She's an American TV personality. Yeah, she's 67, I guess. She was a Wheel of Fortune star. Oh, that's why you did the thing with the hands. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense now.
So anyway, we have this lovely gift basket here. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about it before we get on to the rest of the show?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Okay.
So this is a giveaway, but apparently we can't use that term too much on Facebook or bots will attack Jeremiah.
Yeah, or bots get us.
Yeah.
The bots get us.
But
Wait, what's in these eggs?
Reese cups. But basically it's an online giveaway on Jeremiah Shaver's Facebook. And I mean, you can also find the post shared on all of our other Facebooks, Total Media, Main Street TV, the description of this episode. And it'll be going on until Easter Day. And all you have to do to enter is like the post, comment, and say done once you subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a link in the post. You just tap it, hit subscribe, and you're good. Then you comment done, and you add 3 friends. And then you're entered. And then on Easter Day, we will draw maybe live on the show here. I'm not sure. Got to figure out how I can make that happen. Because, I mean, with 300 entries, I'm not sure that a hat is the best method. But we'll see what we can do.
We'll see.
Someone will win. And there is a $50 stockroom gift card, 2 tickets to Tri-City Theater, a 3-month online Telegram subscription, 2 Total Media keychains, 2 Total Media t-shirts, eggs with Reese cups inside, and then some, I think it's like strawberry candy I found, just kind of roaming around the bottom of the box underneath all the grass. So
there you go.
It's a pretty nice prize pack. You can take home the bunny, and yeah, just
and
enter.
all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
and tag 3 friends in it, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And you win this 2 tickets to the movie, $50 gift card, and t shirts and candy. And why not?
And a pretty nice basket.
Yeah. And then you've got a little pail to put all your Easter eggs in when you go to collect them.
Mm-hmm.
The Easter eggs that I never got to hunt as a child.
I did in Boy Scouts.
I'll never get over it. But anyway, okay, so that is that. Well, if you're wondering why it is sitting here in between the 2 chairs. Okay, so we came up with something a little bit fun.
Oh, yes. Very good point, James Wolf. Thanks for reminding me. New subscribers only.
Yes, new
Yeah.
subscribers only. Yes. So we came up with something a little bit fun. So we have a couple of races in the community, which are contested here in the primary election, which is coming up fairly soon. Don't forget, because it is a presidential year. But and to be specific, we have a congressional race here in our area, in our district, which actually we have 12 candidates vying for one position, or I think it's 12, maybe 11. But anyway, so we reached out to some of the congressional candidates, or all of them, in that race, and afforded them the opportunity basically to come on the program with a pre-recorded statement. And maybe that way you'll get to know them a little bit and kind of what they stand for. So today we will be featuring our local candidate here, local businessman Larry Kidd. I'm sure you've heard some of the commercials, seen some of the flyers here in that you got in the mail and all of that. So I want to thank Larry for taking time to come in and give his statement. And we're going to air that for you. So how long did you say it is, Dylan?
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Okay. And, any congressional candidate that wants to come on, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to do so. And we're going to start today with Larry. So our local candidate. So let's go ahead and play it. Let's hear from Larry and see what he has to say and what he would do if he was headed to Washington.
I'm conservative Republican Larry Kidd. I grew up in Jackson, and we raised our kids in Jackson. I'm a small business owner, and over the years, I've owned many businesses, including a warehouse company, a manufacturing company, and later an office rental company. And because we couldn't get enough people, we formed a staffing company, an employment service company. And over the years, we've employed thousands of people. As a matter of fact, I believe we've had over almost 30,000 people over the last almost 20 years, and most of them have been in Southern Ohio. I'm passionate about Jackson and the rural areas that we live in. We chose to come back, my wife and I, to raise our kids. And there's just something about growing up in a rural town, a small rural town, that you don't get in the bigger cities. And over the years, we've been plagued. My wife's a veterinarian. Her name's Cindy. She has Mount Zion Animal Clinic. I have the company Hire in the Office Commons. And over the years, we've felt the heavy plague of lots of regulation and red tape. And we knew from the start that we had to do something about this. And very quickly after I started the staffing firm, I had a situation with workers' comp, and my rates increased over 1,600% in 3 years. And I found that the government state government wasn't going to do much about it. So I approached our state senator at the time, John Kerry, and he suggested that I join some organizations, business organizations, to help relieve that. And I did. And over time, we were able to make a big difference from the outside in and affect the laws and help with reform in workers' comp. And it's made a big difference. One of the problems that we're facing today is that we have with under President Biden, incredible inflation, high interest rates. As a matter of fact, you have to go to the bank to get a loan to buy groceries or buy gas. It's absolutely incredible. I filled up my truck the other day and it was almost $100. And that's just not reasonable or feasible for many American families, especially those that live in Southern Ohio. And we need to do something about that. We're facing almost a $34.5 trillion debt, and we're not doing anything about it, except punishing our kids, our grandkids, and perhaps their kids. As families, we can't go from year to year without balancing our checkbooks. And certainly as businesses, we can't go into the red every year. Why are we allowing this from our federal government? As a small business owner, I know what it takes to balance a budget. I know what it takes to make sure that your revenues exceed your expenses. And we need to do that in Washington. And if I'm elected to Congress, I will work hard to make sure that happens. Currently, we see about 300,000 illegal immigrants walk across the porous southern borders. Imagine that, 300,000. And many of them are carrying illicit drugs such as fentanyl and carfentanil and heroin and other nasty drugs. And some of them have enough in their backpacks to kill 10,000 people. Picture that, 10,000 people. And ironically, every single month in the United States, there were anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people die of overdoses. We've got to shut down the border. We've got to build a wall. And we got to elect President Trump to, most importantly, enforce the law. It's against the law to walk across the border. And yet President Biden is doing nothing about it. And we need to do something, and we need to do it now. Speaking of the illicit drugs, like many Southern Ohio families, ours was faced with addiction issues. And it's very difficult to talk about, but I think it's important. We got lucky as a family, and our son is in a much better place, but not all families are as lucky as what we are. We were able to find a good recovery center the first time, but many recovery centers have just changed their names from pill mills to money mills. I've heard in Scioto County there's over 100 recovery centers. And we have to have more accountability in the recovery centers. Sometimes people come out of those centers worse than they went in. And that's not what it's intended. And that's not the results that we need. Whether it's private pay or through the government Medicaid, these rehab facilities need to be held accountable. If we're going to give them money, they need to give us results. And speaking of which, we have way too many government agencies in Washington, and they have absolutely no accountability. They're not required to balance their budgets. They're not required to produce any specific results. And again, as a business owner, I'm relating what I know. Business people have to make sure that they make things work. They have to balance their budgets, and they have to produce results. And if they don't, they're not going to have any customers, and they're not going to have any employees. And the government should be held accountable too. We need to make sure that we have metrics for each of the agencies and hold them accountable for what they're supposed to be doing. And many of the agencies have been empowered by President Biden to do whatever they choose to do in terms of developing the laws and enforcing them. He's empowered them. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Congress should develop the laws. The agencies should enforce them. But that's not what's happening. And you could take any number of these agencies, and they're basically making the laws and enforcing them. Essentially, they're judge, jury, and executioner, and that's wrong. Many of the candidates in this race will tell you that they're pro-President Trump. All but one, actually. And I, too, am pro-President Trump. I was a delegate in 2020. Unfortunately, didn't get to go because it was canceled. But I am the only congressional candidate in the United States, when the judge in Colorado took him off the ballot, that decided fundamentally this is absolutely wrong. We shouldn't have judges or special interests decide who we vote for president. Therefore, I filed a brief. First, I hired one of the most respected conservative lawyers in Ohio, and I filed a brief to the United States Supreme Court, which was used in his testimony, the president's testimony, when the decision was decided last Tuesday, that he should be back on the ballot, which was a 9-0 unanimous vote. So I'm a person that sees a problem and I like to take action. And over the years, I've identified issues and problems and served on many boards, many of those I've chaired, including a board for economic development and bringing jobs to not only Jackson, but to other areas and other parts of Southern Ohio and throughout the state. Organizations that protect businesses through lobbying and legislation. I've testified multiple times. As a matter of fact, I testified to remove a tax that's in my industry. It took me about 10 years and multiple sessions and multiple bills to finally get it done, but we did get it done. That was in 2020, and we removed the employment service tax for those that we do business with. I also testified at Ways and Means in DC about the unemployment tax. And most recently, I was serving on the One Ohio Recovery Foundation, which is the distribution of the opiate funds, because I'm passionate about recovery, as we discussed earlier. And I later chaired that board. And it's instrumental because over a period of 18 years, the organization will be giving over $1 billion out to those in recovery, and more importantly, programs that will be transformable and change the trajectory of the addiction issue in Ohio. It will be a model for other states throughout the United States. But most importantly, to the voters of this network in this area, in the district that will be serving Ohio 2, I'm going to bring in broadband to our areas that need it. We're not the Cincinnatis or the Columbuses of the world. We still need broadband, and it should be like any other utility. In Benton County, we need to get running water. It's atrocious in this day and age that we don't have that in many of the homes. And we will make sure that we have the same standards and standard of living that the urban areas have. For years, as an adult, we fought to bring businesses in and different amenities into a rural area. And whenever monies were given out, they always seemed to go to the larger cities, and sometimes and somehow we've been forgotten. I'll make sure that does not happen. I will be in the district a lot when I'm a congressperson. I'm going to listen to what you folks have to say. I'm going to research the topics and study very, very hard. I'm not going to be the congressman that wants to be out being in front of the camera all the time, although I'll do that as needed. I'm not going to be the congressman that's just in there for the show. And I'm certainly not doing it for the money. My wife and I are a good place in our businesses. This is a way for us to give back. But when I vote, I will fight for these bills. I will fight for Southern Ohio. I will fight for Ohio 2. And when I leave Congress, Washington, the district, the state of Ohio, and the United States of America will be better for it. So when you go to vote, whether it's on March 19th or before, remember there's a new kid in town, and it's Larry Kid. I would certainly appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Larry, and thank you for making that statement. And we do appreciate you taking time to do so because it's always nice to hear from candidates and to know that they understand where we're coming from down here in our area. So we do want to mention that any political ad such as that will be a paid ad. So did want to let everybody know about that. Okay, so what are we doing now, Dylan? I think Pete's coming in with some news, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be in here soon.
Okay, so I'm sure he'll be talking about it, but our hometown sweetheart, McKenna Kraft, kicked the crap out of some girl yesterday and won her third straight wrestling title, state title, which was cool. Did you get to see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
She's so fun. So we actually had like a viewing party at the brewery yesterday, and I want to thank everybody that came in, cheered her on, and we were able to stream the match live. Didn't go exactly how I had planned the stream. My original stream crapped out on me, as you would know how things like that happen. And it just disappeared right before the match started. So I did have a plan B. You'll be proud of me that I already had set up just in case. So want to thank Dr. Kelly Roush who live streamed the match on Facebook. And I was able to pick up her feed off of that and able to put it up onto our TVs there in the brewery. And I want to thank everybody that came out, cheered her on. And I mean, it was really, really fun. And so McKenna, congratulations. You do great again. Third time. She's now a junior. So one as a freshman, sophomore, and now a junior, the state title in girls wrestling. And it's really, really cool to watch the girls sports grow and like girls wrestling. Like that wasn't even a thing. I think last year was the first time it was even sanctioned by the OHSAA.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really wild to think about. So it's come such a long way in such a short amount of time.
That's true.
Yep. So what else you got, Dylan?
Well, I spent my whole weekend working on all kinds of different things with my classes. I'm on spring break now.
You are? Are you
Yeah.
going down to Miami?
Mm-mm. Nope.
They're really trying to get rid of spring breakers down there.
Oh, that sucks.
That's why I was trying to make a joke, because they're trying to like kick all the spring breakers out.
Oh wait, you mean like they don't want a bunch of kids traveling to Miami on spring break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they destroy the city.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair reason. I mean, I wouldn't want a bunch of kids coming down here and trashing Jackson. That would suck.
It's kind of a catch-22 though, because you have like the business owners who obviously kind of depend on a lot of people flocking to their area to spend money and whatnot, but they also kind of tear up their businesses. So they're kind of like teetering on how they feel about the crackdown.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you want that money, but you also don't want your store to be trashed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. It's a conflicting situation to be in.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. So you're not going on a spring break, huh?
Nope. I'm just gonna chill and enjoy my time off my classes. I'm finally done with one of my 3 classes right now.
Nice.
That's good. And
Which
of course,
one?
It's shoot. I guess it's one of my 4 classes. Human physical wellness.
What?
I don't know. It talks about how I should eat.
Is it health?
Stuff. Basically, it's a fancy name for like you should get out and exercise, kid. And I'm like, that sucks for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's one of them I got done, and that's fully done. It was an 8-week class. Now I'm moving on to my next 8-week class, and then I got the rest of my classes that I'm working on. And thankfully, I got all those credits from the high school transfer, so I don't have to take as many as everyone else.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got like 3 of them knocked out.
Nice.
And now I'm working on knocking 2 more out through life credits, stating like one of them is interviewing, and it's like how to properly talk in front of people and how to apply for a job and stuff. And I'm like, well, I think I've achieved that. I think I'm safe.
We're learning you here, aren't we?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get them to let that one slide and get me one less class out of the way. Then the other one's how to be a proper leader in front of groups of students. And I feel like I've done that through my time in high school and my time in the university teaching people how to stream and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they'll let me slide with that one too. So then I'd be
We'll
pretty
see.
well ahead of people. That'd be good.
So how long is your spring break?
1 week.
Nice.
So
It'll be the fastest week of your life.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah. It's probably not even going to feel like a break, honestly.
Oh, you just don't have to do schoolwork?
Yeah.
Or do you have like homework to do during spring break?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Just I have to get one test done by the end of the weekend. I have all week to do it. So I'm hoping I get that done.
Are you like Jen and you'll wait till
11:58.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That'd be me.
Yeah. 11:58.
Oh, shoot.
That's for sure going to happen.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I wish I could touch the keypad I got set up where I got these new cameras in here and I'd show everybody our nice filing cabinet.
We got a new filing cabinet.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It's for storage, Jen.
Literally, this is our conversation. This is also the fellow that doesn't know who Vanna White is.
Yeah. I mean,
Have you never watched Wheel of Fortune ever?
Yeah, but I think she's been retired, hasn't she?
No.
She's still doing it?
Yes.
Dang. I mean, good for her, but dang. I
Lord
thought she
have
was like that other guy that retired from The Price is Right. Or is he still doing it?
Bob Barker?
Yeah.
No, he's dead.
Oh. Oh, rest in peace.
So I walk in and I say, "Hey, Dylan, why do we have a filing cabinet in here?" And he said, "For storage."
Yeah. I have a lot of cords, man.
And I said, "Yes, that's what filing cabinets are for. What are we storing?"
Not cords.
Can you expound upon that a little?
A lot of cords, older style cameras, just more cords, and then some more cords, and then I found a few more cords.
Mm-hmm.
So, cords, really.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah's battery pack that I borrowed a long time ago.
Oh, does he know you still have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I gave it back to him, but it was in there for a minute.
Cool.
You should have seen me in here on the weekend. I felt like freaking He-Man. I was dragging that thing all the way through here. I didn't scrape the floor. I got a dolly, and I put it up on the dolly, and I like pulled it back and shoved my foot on the dolly, and then I barely got it in the air, and I took my other foot, and I just started scooting. I got it all the way through here, and there was tire marks from how heavy it was, so I had to go back and mop afterwards. It was insane.
Shut up.
Yeah, and JJ heard me. I was like, dang, bang. And then I was like, JJ, I got a filing cabinet in my room now. And he's like, is that what I heard? I could hear it all the way down here. It was crazy.
Well, it's here now, and it ain't leaving, I guess.
It's the most heavy filing cabinet I've ever messed with.
It's a large.
It's a
I mean,
big
it's like
filing
old
cabinet.
school, like 70s filing cabinet.
Yeah,
So
it was freaking
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I think Alan might have even heard me. Like, it was just so heavy and big. But I made it.
You made it, and that's all that matters.
Yep. And that's my workout for the month.
Where did you find said filing cabinet?
It's just in a hallway. I asked someone, hey, where can I get a filing cabinet? And they're like, there's one right there.
It was just a random filing cabinet
It's
in the
It's
hallway.
even got a sticky note that says empty. And I was like, okay, all right. And I grabbed the dolly and I just got to it.
Where did you find said dolly?
Right by the filing cabinet.
Oh.
It's like someone knew this day was coming.
It's probably from the last poor schnook that had to try to move that thing.
Yeah. He was just done. He walked away, left the dolly right there. Wasn't going to mess with it anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So did you do anything fun over the weekend?
And I just moved the dolly and got my homework done. Set up cameras, worked on more homework, and then a little more homework. And I mean, this is something that I might lose some people on, But basically, Rio Grande Esports, where it's an esports team, we can't stream like normally. Like right now, what we're saying, you're hearing maybe 3 or 5 seconds after we said it.
Mm-hmm.
And with esports, that can't happen because you're giving your opponent what's happening. So like,
Okay.
yeah, it's basically like showing them your screen, and it could be used for cheating, and we don't want that to happen.
Sure.
So we have to do a 3-minute delay between what's happening and what you're seeing, and I can't make that happen. Like that's if you're doing basically it's like Windows and Apple. So on Windows that's not a problem, but on Apple that's a huge problem. Like we just can't do that. So I have to figure out how to make that happen. And I spent all weekend trying to figure out how I can make that happen. And I even contacted another community of nerds, and I'm like, guys, help me. And they're like, dude, you're screwed.
Well, what do other people do? You're not the only esports team in the world.
We are the only esports team that uses Apple.
Well, maybe that ought to tell you something.
Yeah, we need to get off of Apple.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
The problem is our streams are the highest quality around because we use Apple.
Except for it's not working.
It looks incredible. It's just they can cheat. Hey, Pete.
There he is. How you doing, Pete?
Hi, how we doing?
We're doing, baby.
Okay.
He's got his red shirt on.
Pete do his stuff.
Yeah, come on over, Pete.
I found a device that can plug in and do it.
You did.
I did.
Okay.
I don't know how much it is, but
Probably too much.
probably.
Have a seat, Mr. Wilson.
Right, how we
Here,
doing?
we got to put the Easter basket where it's in between us. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Yeah.
You know why I'm wearing the red shirt?
I do.
Okay.
I think I do.
Okay, I think you're probably on the right track. Though at the top of the news is about a young lady, weighs about 100 pounds. Boy, did she have a big accomplishment.
She's mighty.
A big accomplishment yesterday on a big statewide stage at the Schottenstein Center on the Ohio State University campus.
Yep.
In the girls' state wrestling tournament, in case you've been under a rock and don't know,
Right.
our own Jackson High School junior McKenna Kraft
Yep.
won the state wrestling tournament in the 100-pound division for girls. And one of the things we want to say right off is in the girls' tournament, all the schools are together. So she is potentially wrestling against somebody from a really big school.
So they don't have like divisions.
They don't have
there.
size divisions like they do on the boys' side.
Gotcha.
And that's because, you know, the girls, as a wrestling sport, is still growing and like that. So they put them all together. And Dylan, if you want to roll some pictures there, we have some different pictures that we'll show as we talk about her accomplishment yesterday. But this was
What a
her
fun kid.
Oh my! This was her third straight state championship. There is the moment of triumph.
3.
when her hand is raised there by the referee. I'm not sure that's after the championship match or not, but
It is, yeah.
Anyway, her hand was raised there a number of times. As a matter of fact, she won 4 different matches, I think, along the way between Saturday and Sunday. She won all of her matches on Saturday, so she went straight to the championship match at 5:15 p.m. On Sunday. And I know at 6 Cents you had a...
We did. It was so fun.
That was a wonderful thing to do because
Yeah.
I think you have to... It's a pay thing, isn't it, through the OHSAA?
Well, yes, it is. And I was telling Dylan, though, I had a backup plan in case that feed crapped out on me, and it did.
Oh.
So we were able to, I had plan B already up and running. So we were able to pick up the feed from Dr. Kelly Roush on
Okay.
her Facebook,
Right.
which was, I mean, it looked like she was standing right over top of them. She was
Okay.
so close, and it was a wonderful feed. And I want to thank Kelly for allowing us to use that as our plan B because our plan A failed. but yes, it is a paid thing to watch a lot of those championships and whatnot. But
Well, to have a
anyway, we had a viewing party. Tons of people showed up. It was so fun. It was so fun to see the high school kids and like the grade school kids like in front of the TVs, like screaming for her and stuff. It was awesome.
That's just like, a Super Bowl party almost, or a college football championship thing where everybody's gathering in a public venue.
Great.
In a party type situation, all together to cheer on their team. In this case, one young lady.
Yep.
But McKenna won her championship match against Breanne Grimes of Cincinnati Oak Hills. She pinned her at the 3-minute 28
Yes,
second.
she did.
As a matter of fact, McKenna pinned all of her competitors except for the one in the semifinal, and that was a close one. I don't know whether you knew about that, but she won by decision 2-1.
So here's the deal, and I know nothing about wrestling, but I watched that match. That was the one. I was the only other one I watched, and it appeared to me, and I could be completely wrong on this. The girl's tactic was to run from her.
Okay, well that's
it's hard to pin someone or to develop points when all they do is run from you.
right. Well,
And I could be wrong on that, but
right.
that's
Well,
what it looked like
well,
to
that
me.
could have been the strategy. The best chance to win is to not let McKenna beat you because she's so good, and then
mean, that
hope
should tell you
And
something.
then hope that something freaky happens and you are able to do something to her, or score a couple points or whatever. So, no, that's oftentimes
crazy,
what
though.
you do when you're the underdog to try to figure out how to win.
Yep.
When you're up against a superior competitor. McKenna has won 2 straight sanctioned OHSAA championships. The first one that she won as a freshman, it was when the Coaches Association did it,
Right.
but if
was still there.
If the state would have done it, it would have been a similar type situation. And so 3 straight state championships for McKenna, freshman, sophomore, and now junior. And the girl that she beat, by the way, 2-1, had not been scored upon at all. And she had beaten another girl who, like McKenna, had not even lost all year long.
That's awesome.
So she earned her way into that semifinal
scary.
match.
I bet it's so funny. I would just love to be like in the locker room of the people that have to go up against her because, they're just sitting there like, I don't know what to do with her. Just don't let her get her hands on you because she's going to get you.
But we had a picture. I think you probably saw it. There's several other pictures, Dylan, you can put up there. My favorite one was one where I think it was in the championship match. I got this from her father, by the way, where she is smiling because she has this girl in a compromised situation, I guess is the way to put it. And their smile on her is as broad
It's
as you
a
can get.
great
If you can
picture.
find that, Dylan, you should have it there.
And you know what? She did something similar last year where she looked up at the big screen and smiled. And it was just so funny. It's like that confidence there is just so cool.
Sorry, Pete. It looks like I'm struggling to find.
No, it's on the first email that I sent you, if that helps.
And I think now Jamie was telling me this morning, and I don't know that this is for sure true, but he said that he thought that she pinned the girl this year in the same move that she did last year to win.
Right. Well, that very well may have been. She's obviously very accomplished. But on the first day, while Dylan's looking for that photo, on the very first day in her first match, she pinned her first competitor at 51 seconds. It took less than a minute to get a pin. And then the second match, she pinned another girl at 3 minutes and 1 second into the match. And then the semifinal match was the one that was only 2-1. And then, of course, the championship match at 5:15 p.m. is when it was supposed to start last evening. That was the one where she went at the 3-minute 28 second.
Yep.
And you're talking about the best of the best.
Oh,
then,
yeah. This is the state tournament.
in the state meet, and this isn't even, as we said, enrollment based. This is are you getting her, Dylan? There we go. There's a podium shot. That's another moment of triumph where she's standing on the podium with the number 1 there. The girl that she beat in the finals is standing right beside her in the number 2 spot, so you got to look at her. But McKenna, I'm sure there'll be some celebrations when she comes back. I think they stayed late last night our sports editor, Todd Compton, made a communication with Brandon Oliver, who is the coach. Let's give him credit.
Yep.
There
she is.
Oh, there she is. Thank you, Dylan. Look at that. Now, I hope they're in TV land. You can see the smile on her face. You can see the other girl's not in a very good position.
No, that's not a position you want to be put into.
I'm thinking that she was able to see when you have your shoulders down for 3 seconds, I think it is, and see it's pretty close right there. Yeah. And so she knows she's not going to get out of that, and that is as precious as the moment that she has her hand up, because she knows she's going to win right there. And so congratulations to McKenna for winning another state championship. Obviously, Jennifer, we're going to have coverage in our Wednesday print edition. We already have some initial stories up on our website and on our Facebook. We certainly thank Dr. Kelly Roush for doing the video, which she was going to do anyway. And then
she saved me yesterday.
And then you took it. Well, that was wonderful that you came up with that idea. It was really community oriented to do that, and it gave people a good excuse to get together for something that was positive.
And that's
in a nice place.
I just felt like the air was lighter yesterday when everyone was bebopping around, and it's what small communities are all about. You know what I mean? It was just really nice.
Right, and I know that she has done this now 3 times in a row, but you've got to realize, you got to have some perspective on how special this is. Through history, in all competitions, we've not had very many individual state champions. In all the years that I've done it, and I've got some gray hair, in all the years that I've done it, it was a handful on one hand, the number of individuals who won state champions, whether it's track or golf or wrestling.
Exactly. So Jamie brought up a point last night as we were talking about this also, because, you're just so proud, of this young lady, and also all of the athletes that we have that work so hard. But Jamie, he asked the question, and I was like, this would be a fun statistic to look up. How many 4-time of anything state champions are there? Golf, team sports, individual sports, whatever, anything. How many 4-time state champions are there out there?
How many 3-time are there? I mean, she's already done that, but her record this year ended up being 33-0, and folks in the inner circle know this, and wrestling fans know this. McKenna had to overcome an off-season injury, and the thought was that she may not be able to wrestle until sometime into the season rather than at the beginning of the season. I think she started off kind of at the beginning. I'm not sure about that, but she recovered quicker than thought. And wrestling is so physical, you had to wonder if she was going to be at 100%.
Right.
And
obviously so.
33-0, and the only time she lost, and this didn't count because it was against a boy, was one of the best wrestlers in the state of West Virginia, and that was a close match. As a matter of fact, she got him in a compromised position, but the bell rang. I'm not saying she would have won, but
he was saved by the bell. Truly.
Yeah, he truly was. But we'll have a lot of. I know that Todd is going to hopefully have an interview with McKenna and Brandon Oliver tonight, and we'll have that coverage. And no promises, but we talked about with Dylan this off the air, and we are tentatively trying to set up Brandon and McKenna being on Main Street TV later in the week.
And I want to thank Coach Oliver, too, for taking time out of his extremely busy day yesterday to answer a couple questions that I had as I, talked to him on the phone. And he was so kind as to, what mat is she on? Can you tell, I had like 3 or 4 questions to try to zone in on how we were going to do that. And he took the time to answer that for me. And I want to thank Brandon for that too, because he didn't have to.
Right, exactly. Well, Brandon obviously has done a great job with the wrestling program. He has boys team. His boys team is always very good.
Yes.
His girls team is one of the best in all of Southern Ohio, and the participation. And I think McKenna has something to do with encouraging that.
I would say
has been outstanding. As a matter of fact, he had 2 other wrestlers up at the state meet, and we certainly want to mention them as well. Madeline Riddle, only a freshman, wrestled for her first time. She was not pinned. She did lose, but she was not pinned. Did very well
Very awesome.
for a freshman. And Then Braden McInnes, wrestling, and I think in the 106-pound category on the male side, he also did very well, but lost on Saturday. Very good. I think he had to wrestle a kid from Bexley who was 47-0. So he didn't have the best luck with a draw to start off with. But congratulations to both of them for making it. And from Vinton County, Travis Bucklew, who we had on television, he did very well. He lost his first match on Saturday, and that threw him into the consolation round where you have to really work to stay in. But he won 2 other matches on Saturday to get into the final round on Sunday. He did lose the first time on Saturday, but by winning 2 matches on Saturday, he finished 8th in the state and was what we call on the podium.
There you go.
Where they honor the top 8. And so Travis Bucklew has made it to the state tournament 2 years in a row from Vinton County, and he has 1 year left. He is a junior, just as McKenna has 1 year left as a junior. And we also want to mention Blake Woodyard, the freshman. I didn't know whether you heard. He did very well.
I did not. I kept looking, and I didn't ever see.
Well, it was hard to find. But 106 bowlers were in this competition. I'm not sure whether they did this by division or not. I think they probably did. But 106 bowlers, and he was 48th.
Wow.
So he was above half a freshman.
As a freshman.
So congratulations to him.
Awesome,
and we'll be covering all this in the Telegram and online. And we do have a lot of that information already on the website. In most cases, we shared that as a free thing, as a community service, but we'll have more detailed information coming through the Wednesday print edition, and also we'll be putting it on our website, thetelegramnews.com, to feed the fury there of all the people wanting information about these great wrestlers, especially McKenna. All right. Remember, our Jackson High School competition cheerleaders are state champions, too.
Yes.
They, of course, with their competition up at Big Walnut, they won in the game day division, which have been very good. That's where you simulate cheers that you do like at a football game or basketball game. I think it's a football game only. But here are all those girls, and they will be starting Wednesday going off to Orlando, Florida.
And the funny thing is, isn't McKenna a cheerleader as well?
She's not in this group here.
Oh.
She may be a cheerleader.
She was.
Well, if you're a cheerleader at Jackson High School, you're not necessarily a competition cheerleader.
Okay.
Many are. I'm not sure whether you have to try out for it, but my guess is doing the 2 was probably a little bit too much. Because anyway, McKenna may be a cheerleader, but she's not here on the competition cheer group that I've seen on a couple pictures where we've named the names and like that.
Okay.
But this is all the girls. I believe there's 24 of them, and the coaches are Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Boggs. They've obviously done a great job. They are hoping to get a 3-peat in the AmeriCheer International Competition in Orlando, Florida. They'll be leaving on Wednesday. The competition, I think, is on Saturday and Sunday, so we'll certainly be covering that. But here's the big thing that we want to tell you. This is why we're reminding you about that. Tonight, they're going to do a public performance. I'm sure it's going to simulate or be exactly what they're going to do down in Florida. This will give the local folks a chance to see exactly what they do, because these competitions that they have are an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours away from Jackson, and all the fans don't necessarily get to see it. So your chance to do that will be tonight at the high school in the gymnasium at 7 o'clock. This is a performance that is open to everybody. They want to thank everybody for all their support. So this is a way to thank them by performing for them, and it's great practice in front of a crowd, they hope. So by all means, this isn't just for the inner circle, the parents and the school people and all. The general public is welcome. They're trying to get the word out, and that we're trying to help them on that. But that is 7 p.m. tonight at the gymnasium. And then Wednesday, they're on to Orlando, and the competition is on Saturday and Sunday. I'm hoping and feeling like they'll make time for some fun in Orlando. Are there some things to do in Orlando?
There's a couple of things to do in Orlando.
Right. So good luck to them. They are state champions as well. Okay. We have a lot more we could talk about, but Jeremiah Shaver is in, and we're going to kind of change gears because we have a very important story to tell you about. We have posted it on our website and on our Facebook, but we have a very serious situation in this county. that was brought to light by Jackson County Municipal Court and a special group that kind of monitors the overdose situation.
Oh,
I won't say
okay.
anything more. We'll let Jeremiah come in and talk about this, and we urge you to go to our website and see the full story.
Okay. Come on over. Bearer of bad news, it sounds like.
I guess so. Pete set
Thanks,
me.
Pete.
Pete set me up to be the bearer of bad
He
news
did,
this
didn't
morning,
he?
I guess. So, just wanted to touch on this real quick while we was on the show. Pete wanted me to come in and talk about it. So on I think it was Friday morning, I went over to the Jackson County Municipal Court and sat down with the probation department. They had called me the day before to set up the appointment, and they wanted to put out a public advisory about, as Pete mentioned, overdoses in the county. And the probation department, along with the group that he was talking about, it's the Post-Overdose Response Team, or PORT. It's a newly formed organization. It was called, let me get the right word here for it. It was the Jackson County Quick Response Team. It was formed in the latter part of 2023. You may recall us having a large article. I think Alex Shope, our editorial assistant here at the Telegram, covered that story. Since then, they have renamed the organization from the Jackson County Quick Response Team to the Jackson County Port, which is the Post-Overdose Response Team. That organization, it's a program that was formed to help combat overdose deaths and address the most valuable within the county who would benefit most from mental health and or alcohol and substance counseling. So those groups kind of work together, and they're issuing this public advisory to the community after there were 8 known overdoses in a matter of days.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I talked to, who did a lot of the talking was this Jackson County Municipal Court Chief Probation Officer, Wes Skaggs. And, he explained to me that they had 8 overdoses from March 1st to March 4th. So he said that's quite a bit in a short amount of time. There's another individual that was involved, Mandy Davis. She's with Hopewell Health Centers, and she receives reports from different law enforcement agencies in the area when there are overdoses, and she reviews that data and noticed the usually unusual high numbers and reported it to the probation department. She said that there were 3 overdoses in Wellston, 1 in Oak Hill, 1 in Ray, 1 in Thurmond, 1 in Jackson, and 1 in Liberty Township. So they're kind of sporadic across the county, and they just felt like it would be a good idea to let the community know, hey, this is going on, and that the pattern so far this month is troubling enough that they felt like they needed to put out some kind of advisory, not only for the folks who may be abusing, but the families. He did mention that some folks do take care of this at home because they do have access to Narcan.
Right.
But one of the individuals that was at this, it was kind of a roundtable of sorts, that spoke. Davis that I mentioned, she said that she kind of feels like it may be something new as far as drug, or maybe a more high potent type of drug.
I was going to ask you, were they specific as to say what kind of drugs?
No,
they were?
So the testing on that kind of stuff will take time to probably come back. I know the judge was saying they don't really test like syringes and stuff anymore. I guess the state doesn't. And so I don't know if there will be autopsies done on these people to see the kind of drugs, but they did say that it's taking 16 to 20 milligrams of Narcan to bring these people back, these overdose victims. And so 16 milligrams, just to give you an idea, is 4 sprays at 4 milligrams each, while 20 milligrams would be 5 sprays at 4 milligrams each. And, as we know, Narcan is a opioid overdose reversal drug.
Right.
And they did say, a lot of these people that were overdosing, I hate to use the term, but they were seasoned users.
Okay.
So that's why they kind of think that, it may be something new, could be a new formulation of drug out there, or it
That's what
could
I'm
be
wondering if
something
it-
more
That's why I
higher,
asked that question.
higher
Is it
potency.
something that
Yeah, they don't.
everybody's using?
Yeah,
or...
they don't know. They don't know.
Okay.
There could be something that's cut with something else that they don't know what it is. But they just said, the important thing on the advisory, not just for the user, but for the family members, they may be cleaning or handling this at home. Following an overdose, just to be careful. They did mention that in neighboring counties, Gallia, Meigs, and Vinton, they have not seen an uptick in overdoses, that they've only had one out of those 3 counties here recently.
Okay.
So 8 in a matter of 4 days, and 1 out of 3 counties. So there's something going on. Yeah, something weird there. So right now they're trying to figure out what the common thread is, or who may be the common pusher of an unusual lethal product. And they did mention that a lot of users nowadays do have Narcan at home, but they may only have a dose or 2, and that may not be enough for a family member to bring that person back.
Right.
So they just want people to be aware.
Dang.
And the municipal court did remind the public that Narcan can be attained at different sources, such as the Jackson County Health Department, and that they have a program. It's called the Jackson County Heightened Overdose Prevention Education. It's HOPE initiative, and the program provides Narcan to anyone who may need it. During this meeting that I had on Friday, Jackson County Municipal Court Judge Mark Music was there, and he weighed in on the situation. And, he said there's a lot of people that like to trifle with the fire, just putting their foot down to the edge of the fire. And, Narcan is a redemptive measure, but of course, he said education, prevention, enforcement to prevent is much better.
Sure.
And, like I was talking about on the syringes, he said what he has noticed about the whole thing when there's spikes like this. He said syringes are key to the whole thing. He said, however, Ohio's policy in the last few years has been to move away from analyzing syringes because it's too dangerous for the analysts. And they did give me some.
I guess that makes sense because you got to handle the stuff,
right? To see what it is.
Sure.
So, they did give me some other statistics. Davis had told me that there has been 24 overdoses with 2 deaths since the first of the year. So we're, into March. And he said a lot of these are happening out in public places, such as parking lots, parks, and, a passerby finds somebody slumped over the wheel and calls it in, and then they have to come and use, Narcan on this individual. He said that's not counting, or she said, that's not counting any of the overdoses that are happening at home that are not being reported.
Yeah,
so
you
there
don't
could
know
be
about.
more out there. The Holzer Medical Center at Jackson emergency room reported to the Port organization that medical staffers used Narcan 81 times in 2023. And so far in 2024, which is just January through February, the ER has reported using Narcan 13 times in 2 months.
Wow.
Just in the
and that's
ER.
just at the ER.
Just at the ER here at Holzer. So, but the group just feels that the overdose numbers are underreported because folks are taking care of it at home nowadays, which is an unintended consequence. Because if they can't, they said we can't help if they don't know.
Yeah.
And they did give me, it says, those who have family members who are struggling with drug addiction can refer them to the Jackson County Port. And this can also be done anonymously. You don't have to give your name. And that number is 740-288-1218. Or you can email Jackson Port, that's PORT 8@gmail.com. So just wanted to come on and we're a little over our time, but I think it was important to touch on. And we got that story up on the Telegram over the weekend, and we had Pete got a thing out on the radio about it too, just to let folks know.
Yep. So keep an eye on your friends, neighbors, your loved ones, and maybe have that hard conversation with them. And it is hard.
It is.
It's probably almost an impossible discussion, but you got to do it anyway.
Right.
talk to your kids, talk to everybody about it.
So we just wanted to highlight that since they felt it was important enough to contact us
Well, thank you.
because they didn't have to.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. All right, Jeremiah, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. Thanks to Pete, and thanks for our message from candidate Larry Kidd, who kind of touched on what you were just talking
Okay,
about a little
yeah.
bit too. So that's a whole other situation in
Yeah,
running for
his-
Congress, that he understands that there is a problem.
yeah, his family was affected by that.
Yeah.
So,
So, all right. Well, we have to get out of here for the day, and we thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back here tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.